Speaker, I yield myself as much time as I may consume. I want to thank Representative Costa, who I'm very proud to serve with him on the board of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. We look forward to recognizing and accepting a full delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly from both Finland and Sweden. Vladimir Putin launched his unprovoked war of aggression against Ukraine and the inhumane assault on innocent civilians, thinking that he would be able to divide the NATO alliance. He was mistaken. Instead, Finland and Sweden responded by dropping their policies of military neutrality and applying for NATO membership. As NATO General Secretary Jens Stoltenberg put it, Vladimir Putin wanted less NATO, and now he's getting more NATO on his borders. Finland and Sweden will both be significant security providers for NATO. This bipartisan resolution supports ratifying the accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO. Having served as the president of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, I understand the fundamental role this organization plays in defending democracies and supporting freedom. Finland and Sweden's strategic location in Northern Europe, advanced militaries, and decades of fighting alongside the U.S. and NATO mean that their accession will immediately strengthen the transatlantic security. Finland and Sweden have well-trained armed forces, sophisticated modern weapon systems, and have committed to allocating 2% of their gross domestic product to defense spending. Both militaries are highly interoperable with NATO forces, having participated in numerous NATO-led operations from Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia and Herzegovina to Kosovo. Meanwhile, Finland has finalized its purchase of F-35 fighter jets from the U.S. in a $12 billion deal. I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting this resolution, which calls on all members of NATO to ratify Sweden and Finland's protocol of accession swiftly. Finally, for the alliance to be credible, every nation must do its fair share. The resolution also urges members of NATO to meet their 2% defense spending pledge. President Trump successfully pushed our NATO allies to spend more on defense. Putin's invasion has been another motivation to convince our allies who had not been living up to their military commitments to NATO to increase their defense spending and make concrete plans to reach the 2% requirement. A strong and united NATO is in the United States' interest. With Sweden and Finland as members, the balance of power in Europe will be tipped against Putin. I support this resolution, and I reserve the balance of my time.